There we go. Well, what's up, y'all?
Hello.
Eve Joe back again. Pole for the sweat.
Yeah, we're actually facing we're getting sun kissed.
I'm getting sun. Here, I'll show y'all. A Membe kayak. It's nice, right? Indian Ocean. Nice restaurant. So, beautiful lady right here.
Thank you, my handsome babe.
Welcome, hon. What is it? 5:50 p.m. our time, Monday. Happy birthday to my brother Matthew.
Oh, happy birthday,
I
Matthew.
forgot. How do we say happy birthday in Swahili?
Heri yasiku ya kuzaliwa is a bit longer. Heri
Harry
yasiku
Yasiku
ya kuzaliwa.
Yakuzaliwa
Matthew.
Matthew.
Yeah, is it
Love
today?
you, bro. Yes, today, February 10th.
Ooh, yeah,
So sorry, I'm putting your business out there. So here it was just Maji. It's just
Close to the
water.
water.
Happy birthday, bro. Love you. See you soon.
I hope next year you celebrate your birthday in Zanzibar.
Yeah, me too. Miss you, bro. So glad I got to see you last year, though. So yeah, we're here in Membe. Oh, now we're getting a little breeze, actually.
Yeah, that's good.
So we've had a full day ordering dinner. First time being out together in a little while. I'm recovering from a foot injury that I got last year. It's called plantar fasciitis. It's nasty stuff. So the punchline is stretch. You gotta stretch. I'm an introvert. I love reading and being indoors. I mean, I like being out as well, but it's easy to neglect your health like that and stuff. So, make sure you do that. So, how should we get into it?
Exercising is better.
Yeah. And you were an athlete, babe.
Yeah,
Right?
used to until I also had my injury, but at least mine isn't worse, so I can still go out, move around, do
Yeah.
things. So life hasn't, like my injury didn't put me under, house just being indoors all day.
Yeah.
I can still move around and do things.
That's good.
But yeah, I mean, we're just, enjoying being out because it's been a while since we've had outing like today, so had to drive him to the hospital.
Yeah.
To the physiotherapist.
Yeah,
at
needed
the hospital.
physiotherapy now. So,
Yeah.
plantar fasciitis is when like the tendon in your foot like kind of locks up, I guess, and gets swollen, and you can't walk on it. So, around this time last year, I got it because I just wasn't stretching enough. We were taking walks early in the morning, and there's a lot of real estate out here in Zanzibar, like long roads and things like that, and it's beautiful, and it's easy to, at least for me, to get lost in it. And that's fine if you're doing your stretches. But if you're like me and you weren't, you're gonna have some pain. And I wasn't resting. I wasn't resting enough, so I was kind of down for the count half of 2024.
Yeah.
And then things got better toward the end. So much so that, like I said, I was able to see my brother late last year to lay my grandmother, my BB, to rest on my dad's side. Rest in peace, Grandma B. And so my foot flared up again when we went to the lagoon last month. I was like, oh no. So I was on a crutch. I have it in the car now. So
I hope we don't have to use it anymore.
I know I don't want to use it anymore. So
Anyway.
but yeah, so
Actually, remember the interesting topic of how we wanted to make it live? What was the name I was trying to pronounce? That got us to a whole conversation about language.
pangolin.
Pangolin.
Yeah.
And you heard like I said what?
I thought you said hangolin because all right. So yeah. So I'm learning Swahili. She's my teacher. She's working on the next cohort now. In fact, so that's good. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm learning Swahili. And so sometimes she didn't realize she's got, well, sometimes I don't even realize. I don't realize until I'm like, wait, what'd you say? That she's got a Swahili accent. So sometimes I don't hear
I actually didn't
certain
know
sounds.
I had the Swahili accent.
I
Come
mean, it
to
makes
think of
sense.
it.
I didn't know I had an American one until you start traveling.
Yeah. So anyway, that brought us to a topic that we discussed over the entire ride to
Right.
the physiotherapist. And we were like, we just thought it's something that is worth sharing with you because I know a lot of you are thinking of going international. Or you've met with a lot of people who are from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And maybe language is one of the most important things that can, help you communicate and, like create relations and all
Yeah.
that. And that reminded me while we are having my conversation just across the video I've seen. Shout out to Charity. I think that's her name. YouTube name.
Yeah, out there in Nigeria, I
Yeah,
think. She's super big.
she
So
is.
you were watching her video, and she
Yeah.
said pangolin, right?
It wasn't even about pangolin. It
Which
was
is an
about it.
animal.
Yeah.
One of the anteaters. It's got that cool spine, and it gets into a ball,
It's
and
actually a
so it's
delicacy. A delicacy. That's why they were painting it actually, because it's like it's an
okay.
extinct.
Well,
It's
it's
extinctive.
endangered.
Exactly.
Y'all watch out for it in Tanzania though, right?
Yeah,
You said
but because
Tanzania take care
it
of it.
has a spiritual like that. I
Yeah.
think a lot of you for Tanzanian people, kaka kuona, that name sounds familiar.
Brother see you. I love saying it. It's just a nice
Yeah.
brothers.
Yeah.
It's just fun to say.
Yeah. So well, I actually saw one. Uh,
Yeah,
it
last
was
year
last year
in
when I
Tanga.
went to the village. So I saw one. So it actually considered like if you see one, you're considered like the luckiest person that year.
Mm-hmm.
You like you'll receive a lot of good things. So maybe I'm expecting this year to be a good year since
Amen.
we had one. So
Yes.
blessings to that. So that actually when I pronounced pangolin and he heard that I pronounced
Pangolin.
pangolin, so that reminded me of a video which we ended up discussing. It was the lady, her charity.
Yeah.
She's just explaining to people, which is actually really important, that you know sometimes people think African, like in general, we have a bad accent, given that we speak English. With our mother tongues
Right.
accent. So if I speak English in a Swahili accent, someone else speak English in a Kikuyu accent, someone else speak English in a Igbo accent, with whatever tribal you're from,
Yeah.
because that's the first language that we learn. So every other language that you learn is impacted with the accent that you first learned.
Yeah. Makes
So
sense.
we've faced, myself included, a lot of times that people say, "Oh, they don't hear me when I say stuff," which is rightfully so, because I also speak faster. I hope you all can hear me.
And gentle too.
Yeah, and gentle, which is the Tanzanian way, East African way of speaking.
Yeah.
So it's like most of the time people I had to repeat myself twice. I had to repeat myself even more than twice, or like entirely change the subject if it feels like someone telling you over and over, what do you say? So she went on and she was talking about it was mostly Americans say African accent is like the worst accent.
Yeah.
And I
We'll take it.
yeah, sure, we'll take it.
Karibu. Santi-san.
And it was the way she was putting it is like most people are not being nice. Ooh, this looks nice.
Santi-sana dada.
Cheers, baby. Ooh, refreshing.
Is that watermelon in there? I think. I'm trying to remember
I
what I
think
got.
there's syrup in it. Mint and fresh
Yeah.
juice. Could be watermelon.
I don't know if y'all can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super nice, refreshing. So yeah, they were not being nice about it. The fact that our accent is bad. Well, according to what they said, the few people that said African accent is bad, which can understandably be so.
Sure.
Because someone else speaks like pidgin, Nigeria pidgin. It's even difficult for a lot of people to understand, but that's a pidgin. But that took us to like people being nice if you're traveling internationally, being nice about when people speak a certain language, specifically being English. That a lot of us, that's not our first language. So definitely we won't speak it fluently because we had to learn it. And we
Right.
speak, like personally, I speak 3 languages. I'm learning the 4th. I can speak other languages a little bit, but at least 3 languages I know for sure. I can speak with, English,
Yep.
Maasai, and Swahili. So those 3 I know for sure I speak. But other people speak 5, 6 tribal
Yeah.
languages. And that can usually mess you up when you're trying to like pronounce or say things in English. So I guess that was us to like speak to you all and share with you all this, that if you're traveling, going also to us Africans, because we know a lot of, sometimes people learning Swahili, I know you've made mistakes learning Swahili. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I laughed at you because you're my baby.
She
I don't
always
usually
laughs. She always
I don't usually do that, but I tease him.
Yeah.
She's my baby, so I can have fun and tease him. So we usually like correct you afterwards though. And even like you learning Swahili, going around where we live in the island, people always corrected you lovingly, like really.
Yeah, always.
Always like, yeah,
No
you
one was
say
stuck
this
up.
way.
No one made me feel embarrassed or like
No.
small or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I was made feel embarrassed speaking a broken English by
Oh,
my
okay.
fellow Africans. And I'll be like, yeah, you're speaking a broken English. I may have been victimized someone else, but I actually realized that we're just doing that to people and it's not right because that's not their first language. And we speak other languages. We don't find a regular home speaking English daily. We speak Swahili daily.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's to urge you to always like be careful when you're traveling to other countries and people speak different languages and they try to communicate with you in English. They actually try and do their best to make sure
Yeah.
that you guys meet in the middle and understand what you all are trying to talk about. So what would
Yeah.
you take on the
My
whole language thing?
That she, yeah, because I didn't see the TikTok or wherever you saw it.
I'll have to send it to you.
But it sounded like it made sense because I know Charity uses a lot of sarcasm and stuff and facetiousness, in joking to teach people stuff. But it made sense,
No, but she
especially.
wasn't. I don't think that was sarcasm at all. She was like actually giving information plainly as it
Gotcha.
is. Yeah.
But it did make me think that I agreed with her. Like, you gotta like treat people with kindness and grace. It's just language, some people. Well, I don't mean to say it like that. Everyone's culture is different. Some people's like it's not just language, and but that didn't mean you have to be snobby or make people feel less than just for getting things wrong. People make people make mistakes, and it's okay, and it's not right. A lot of Westerners and Americans do that, especially when people come to America. Like, speak American, speak English, and it's like you have to give people the time to learn. When they're going for school, going, for work, whatever, for tourism, whatever the case may be. English might not be people's native language, and a lot of people can be in their bubble. We're all in a bubble to one extent or the other. And I really felt like she was saying, I guess when you come to Africa, some African country, be open, if I'm hearing right,
Yeah.
be open to people, English not being their second language, just as Swahili or something else isn't my second language. Because in America, African culture is not very big, like at all. It's English, it's European, it's Americanized stuff, and there's not African culture is not a priority over there. And even when stuff comes through over there, oftentimes it's painted in a negative light, which is super unfortunate. That's racist. That's not
That's
cool.
really sad.
Because there are also some Africans who are unaware that a lot of folk, American or African American, we don't know. It doesn't make it right to like be making fun of people. If your English wasn't as great as someone else's, that's just gonna discourage somebody. But a lot of us don't. Like, I didn't grow up with a lot of African culture at all because it's just a different culture over there in the West. So those were a few of the things that came to mind, especially that I thought might help. I thought she was right. Like, hey, have some grace. But also, I don't know if she knows that, hey, a lot of African Americans or Americans in general doesn't make it right. Again, putting down people's efforts. Don't do that, but be aware that no, we don't know. It's not right because Africa's huge with so much culture,
That lot.
but there's some of it is personal ignorance on a lot of people's part, and then a lot of it is I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like other culture is prioritized for good or bad. Doesn't make it right, but that's a reality. It's not a fun thing to swallow in that regard, but it's real. That's some of what came to mind for me.
Yeah, but I think mostly it's not all only about Americans. I think it's
Yeah.
like a general, because even some Africans, I don't want to start an online war with Kenyans right now.
Oh, what you doing?
I might not say this.
I'm not in this.
No,
No, what are you gonna say? Go ahead.
anyway, but most of the time, as Tanzanians, given that we don't really, English is not our national language, it's not the medium of instruction for anything except for secondary school, which is not really that much.
Okay.
Business language is Swahili. Everything we do in Swahili. So most of the people are comfortable speaking Swahili in doing any kind of transaction, being
Okay.
at the hospital. And I think that's why I also like needed some help. Because most of the time, even with the doctor, she was trying to explain explain other things in Swahili. Though
Yeah.
she could speak really good English.
Yes, you
Really
could.
good,
Yeah.
really
And
good
I
English.
always try to use a little bit of my broken Swahili that I'm
To like
mending
connect.
together
Yeah.
to keep it going. But yeah.
Yeah, she was still, she felt comfortable knowing that I could speak Swahili to
Yeah.
explain some
Yeah.
things in Swahili. So that means we're mostly comfortable in our language in Swahili that rather than in English.
Yeah.
Actually, come to think of it, have you watched the Young Famous,
Yeah, yeah.
Young
I
Rich
watched the
and Famous?
first. I watched the first season,
Oh yeah, I
but I'm
watched all three
behind.
of them. So if you haven't watched it, you can actually. It's a
Sa-
really nice reality show.
What in
Of like,
South Africa?
yeah, in South Africa, it includes like a lot of African celebrities,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them being one of our celebrity here in Tanzania.
Oh yeah.
There were a
Was
lot
it
of
a Diamond
comments.
Platinum?
Yeah, a lot of comments on the way he was speaking English, or how even
Oh.
some comments were made with some other casts on the way he was speaking English. So it was almost like they were looking down on him because he couldn't speak
Yeah.
that
You don't
much of
want to
like
do
a
that.
proper English, which makes them feel bad because he
Yeah.
is sorry. We also have that problem of using she and he indifferently, so forgive my grammar. But
Ah.
he was really trying to
Yeah.
at least communicate however way he felt like he was actually putting a point across.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the most important thing to note is as long as you can understand each other. Say I speak with my broken English, we mostly
Yeah.
understand each other on
Yeah,
things
we
that
do
we
fine.
say. So we do like really fine.
Yeah.
So it's almost like just arguing people to like everybody, being Swahili or being any other person in Africa or anywhere in the world, to like just be kinder with people. If someone doesn't speak in the same level as you are speaking, have
Yeah.
some grace on them. Because
Yeah.
as Charity mentioned, and as I said earlier, that we speak more than 4, 3, 5, depending on someone, languages. So sometimes that can be a mix up of.
Yeah.
And I know there are also other people with really worst accent, which
Right.
worst accent in a sense that I'm not saying that in a negative way, but it's even difficult to try and like how they say their words.
Mm-hmm.
Like say you speak to a Russian person, their English is usually like you need a second and a third ear to actually make out what they're
Sure.
saying.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah, or
Depends.
even like Turkish.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Turkish English, because
Yeah,
those
yeah.
are like the people that I worked with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like really difficult to sometimes understand what they're saying. But at the end of the day, as long as they are able to explain, whether using sign language or using anything that they're able to express what they need, I think that that's what's important.
Yeah.
But
Because
yeah.
did
Go
you
ahead.
say they were saying in the video that if it's someone European,
Yeah.
how did you put it? It's
So-
like it's accepted or something if their
Yeah,
English
it's
is, but if it's African, it's like what's
It's
up
like,
with that? It's
yeah.
like, well, you know the world you live in, so there's racism everywhere, and some people are more gracious to certain groups of people who are learning to communicate a certain way than others, and it's just something we gotta soldier through
Yeah.
as we, try to operate peacefully with people. But yes, that's real, and it's good to have that in the back of your mind. Sometimes you might encounter that. It's not right, but it is real because there's no reason you or anyone else, Diamond Platinums, whoever, shouldn't have the same grace because we're just trying to communicate and share.
Yeah.
It didn't cost nothing to be kind.
Yeah.
Like, don't be, especially because really we're talking about adults.
Yeah,
We're not even
we're talking
talking
about
about,
kids.
like, no one's, well, they're cruel people, but it's like, notice we're not talking about, like, oh, someone laughed at a kid. Some adult laughed at a kid who couldn't speak English. No one, kids will do that.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's not treat grown adults like children who are, there are certain colloquialisms, certain slang, certain customary things that people say. I'm still learning all types of things about Swahili and Maasai and stuff like that. And I appreciate the grace.
Yeah.
I appreciate how open, I think we've said it before. I love how open Swahili is here in Tanzania, where it's everywhere. Maybe some of that's tourism, maybe some of it's people's personality or
I think
a
it's
mixture.
mostly people personally. Apart from tourism, naturally we'll teach anybody Swahili. Say even like in schools sometimes, because Swahili is our national language, but it's not necessarily the first language for everybody.
Sure,
So
okay.
some people grow speaking the tribal language and they need to learn Swahili in school. So it's like I think it's different depending on situations. So usually it's like you teach someone with grace and like try to help them speak better, communicate better, rather than like putting them on a spot that they don't know what they're speaking. Because I feel like generally that's really bad, making someone feel like they like you make someone lose their confidence
Yeah.
when they're speaking. So it's almost like they're always trying to watch what they say, how they say it, so they don't say it wrong. At the end of the day, they won't deliver what they want to say, or they won't communicate exactly what they intended to communicate. So that can also bring, because I think you also mentioned, which is one thing you've also faced, apart from people not doing or not being responsible for things, but sometimes language is the biggest part that someone just
Yeah.
don't really explain because they don't know how to give you the message for you to clearly understand.
Yeah.
I face that sometimes. I think a lot of people might relate. Like
Yeah.
I might know something in my head.
Yeah.
Like I want to say it, but I know it in Swahili, and I'm trying to like translate it in my head to English so I can tell it to you.
People
And
don't think
sometimes,
about that.
yeah, it's almost
kind of like a game.
yeah, it's almost like you know. Imagine how someone speaking 5 languages. You know one thing in one language, and you have to translate to 5 different languages to be able to say
It's like
in
going
the
through a
language.
file cabinet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So most of the time, it's almost like it might not come out exactly as the other person expected it to, but you know, at the end of the day, just trying to communicate.
Yeah, you gotta, because you're making a kind of effort.
Yeah.
Like what I was learning with the muscle exercises for my foot. Like there are muscles that the doctor was saying the way you might move your feet to walk or something. A lot of people sometimes compensate in a certain way because it's just a comfortable way that a lot of people, I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but I was trying to use her example of muscles. Sometimes people do walk a certain way because it's just convenient.
Oh yeah.
But you may not get full range of motion, but then when a doctor, an an
Yeah.
orthopedic specialist tests you in a little way, you're like, oh, I've never done that before, like move my ankle that way or flex my toes that way. So it's like you have to make the effort, and it's the same way with translating things, especially like you said, the more languages you know, it's like you got to translate. You're like, wait, do I need to translate this Maasai, Swahili, English, Spanish? Like what? So,
That makes me remember a scenario back in high school. We were writing actually national exams. I will not forget this. And so in the exam room, I knew this word in Swahili. Like exactly, I knew in Swahili. But I could not translate it into English. You know what I did?
what?
After I had so much difficulty trying to translate it into English, I wrote the word in Swahili and I put it in bracket and I wrote whatever translation came to my mind in English. I didn't know if it was the right word, but every time I remember that, which actually made me, with the conversation today, made me remember I'm
Yeah.
trying to speak English a little bit, unlike other people that are facing a lot of other
Yeah.
people who can speak. But imagine that kind of difficulty that I had to like translate a very simple, I think it was grinding of teeth. I think it's a verse in the Bible because that was like a Bible
Oh, okay.
exam.
Or gnashing of teeth, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
But grinding came. I wasn't sure
Well,
if
there you
grinding was
go.
the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
word, but I wrote it in Swahili, bracket, and put it in English. So that was just a scenario that I would remember. I struggled to like translate something that I knew exactly in the language that I'm used to and putting it to English.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's also, it's really important if you're traveling to a country, say you're going to Kenya or you're coming to Tanzania, specifically in East Africa, you really, really need to put the effort and learn Swahili. Even if it might not be really good, fluent Swahili, but at least you can communicate and say, like, the same Swahili you're using.
Yeah.
Like, you would know a certain word, like maji. So if you say maji, someone knows whatever you're saying has to do with water. So you have to like just explain to them and maybe use the sign language to make sure everywhere you go you get the service. So that's why it's really important to learn the language of the place you're going, because English might not be spoken in that area or
Yeah.
with certain people, and you don't want to face difficulty in like communicating or trying to get the service that you want just because you can speak the language. Just learn a little bit to be able to function on your daily life. You go to the market, you know how to ask for
Yep.
things. You go to the hospital, you know how to explain like a little bit of what is wrong with you. Not that
Yeah.
they don't speak English, but I think it makes people feel more comfortable if you speak in their native languages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great advantage to have.
it is.
You feel more comfortable because you're already a foreigner somewhere. So depending on your personality, that's gonna feel uncomfortable, just in general, and it's okay. But yeah, I do try to be using Swahili words and phrases as often as I can in any circumstance, so as that folk feel comfortable around me, and also so that I feel comfortable, letting them know that I'm like trying to put in effort to be a part of like the fabric of what's going on here in the community, whether it's something with the children, like watoto, like that's children in children in Swahili.
Yeah.
Mtoto is one, one single child, and I forget things all the time because it's a lot of words. You said Swahili, y'all are creating new terms all the time, isn't
Most
that
of the
right?
time, yeah. Every day, language is like it's a developing language, so they usually add some new words into the existing ones to make the word. But Swahili is broad, like it's a very broad language
And I
because it
guess so
comes
is
from the
English.
big family of Bantu. So, and actually learning Swahili puts you in a really good position to learn other languages,
Okay.
like other Bantu languages, because
Okay.
some things are super similar to other languages, the entire continent actually. Because like most of the people, there are groups of language.
Yeah,
I think
you're
that's
right.
history, Bantu, Niloids. But if you speak Swahili, because Swahili is a big, it was borrowed from different languages to make Swahili. So that's only to say about Swahili. But I think generally speaking, because we're not focusing on Swahili, that is to say anywhere you go. It could be you're coming to East Africa, it could be you're going to West Africa, it could be you're going to even parts of Europe to take time to learn at least a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit of
yeah.
the language of the place, because I think even for us, if you go, say, to China, you have to take a whole year to learn Chinese because that's what they use in class. And you don't want to be
Oh,
left
okay.
behind.
Because
So you need
every
to speak Mandarin to be able to go to classes.
because every culture is
It's
different. That's
different,
something
yeah.
to look into. Like, is the country, if you're going to do tourism somewhere, go travel or live abroad, you'll want to know, does this country and culture like really prioritize, or to what extent do they prioritize foreigners learning their language? Some might be more casual than others.
Yeah,
It's
for
case
others,
by
it's
case.
strict,
Like a
yeah.
lot of people I have heard say that for the longest time, French people really want you to know the language, and it sounds like it really is a big priority. Last I heard, somewhere else, I don't know where else,
I
but
have
somewhere
a
else it
friend
might
in Germany.
might be more
He has
casual.
to learn. No, he had to learn Germany. A whole. I think for some time he
Okay.
needed to go through like some courses to learn German to be able to be employable, since I think we're living there, and to like just move around because everybody speaks German.
Yeah,
So
and I guess
yeah.
it's like, I don't know if I'm saying it right, because like you said, I guess you learn that, certainly depending on where you go, maybe in China or Germany for those examples, the education or maybe the work, it might be like 99% the native language.
Yeah.
Whereas other areas, it might be like pockets of
Of like,
English or of something else over here, so that you're like, okay, I can get a head start or something somewhere. Whereas
something.
other places, like, nah, all they speak is Spanish, and you
Yeah.
want to know that ahead, because there are some countries that are Spanish speakers. You also want to know what type of Spanish. Is it, Spanish from Spain, or is it Portuguese, or well, there you go. Sorry, Portuguese is Portuguese. There's just similarities to Spanish. Caught myself there. But it's like, yeah, it's like if you go somewhere, are there any pockets where you can get away
With
with
that,
English,
yeah.
for lack of a better term? Or is it like, no, yeah, you better take a year to learn this language before you get on the plane?
I know, but I'm so sure like everywhere in the world, people speak a little bit of English. Like even like in areas that is fully, say like with China, using example with China.
Yeah.
Where would we use China? We're in Zanzibar. A lot of people
Oh, it's a
speak.
variety, though. It's
Yes,
okay.
a lot of people speak Swahili. But yeah, a majority of us are taught English in school, so we can speak a little bit of the English. So it's almost like, but in most areas that you go, say you want to do business with like the local, from like the interior parts, not the town parts, where most people try to learn a little bit of English, you still need to learn a little bit Swahili to be able to speak to them. Because you might go and you might not get the service at all because you're not
True.
speaking any Swahili. So it's almost like you find someone speaking Swahili and someone else speaking English. I remember stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's about my mom. My mom, I love her so much, but she can really speak English.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
much. She
and you
speaks
told
like a
me.
little bit, like she could hear few words.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
if you give her a whole conversation in English, she'll be like. So I had
yeah.
this friend who was speaking English, and my mom couldn't understand. So I remember this day. I think I'd left home. I didn't say where I was going,
Mm-hmm.
and so my mom was like, okay, she'll come back. But the friend, I didn't tell him where I was going.
Okay.
So he came home looking for me. And so he didn't know how to explain himself because he doesn't know even a little bit of Swahili. So he was speaking
Dang.
English. My mom was speaking Swahili. I tell you, the conversation was the funniest conversation you could
Yeah,
ever hear. Because they was not understanding each other completely.
yeah. Because
Completely.
she didn't know, no?
No, so it was almost like they were speaking two different languages and trying to communicate. And so they ended up just sitting there. So the friend decided to just sit there and watch my mom do the beading work
Nice.
until I came back. So, but when I came and my mom was telling me, I laughed. I was like, Mom, what? So I was like, yeah, it's really important that you learn English. So my mom to learn a little bit of English and the friend to learn a little bit of Swahili. So at least they
Mm-hmm.
can put some English word, Swahili
Exactly.
word, and here and there to
That's why I'm,
understand each other. So
that's
yeah.
why I'm glad I was learning when I met your mom to learn some things, the greetings,
Yeah.
sorry, that I'm thinking of her reply. Why am I thinking of the reply when I need to be thinking of the greeting? Why am I thinking of the?
Yeah, because you haven't been speaking
I'm
Swahili
so
for that long.
well, no, but I'm having a dumb attack. Rather, is what I'm saying. It's when I greet her, she'll say marahaba, but I'm forgetting. Oh,
Oh.
shikamo. There we go. It was escaping me. So like, shikamo is the greeting. She says marahaba
Marhaba.
back. I know different words like simu for the phone, mesa for the table, maize for the corn. Like there are different vocabulary I've been learning to try to
Like put in
put
there.
different things, like literally the Swanglish, that broken Swahili. Because then she took me.
I'm
She
actually
felt comfy.
interested.
She not comfy. She felt comfortable taking me through the maze.
That's what I wanted to know. What was the conversation about? Because I went further in giving example for years. Remembering when
Yeah,
we
yeah,
went to the village, she took you on a farm tour. How
yeah.
did you guys manage the conversation?
No, I just kept. She kept pointing things out. If I didn't understand, I said, "Oh, pole mama," and she got it. She understood. Oh, okay, he doesn't know that. And then I would say things that I did remember. I knew enough vocabulary. Maybe we've said this before, but
Yeah.
it's a fun story. I just kept pointing out things, or like you said, and really the world over, it's not even unique to Swahili. There's a lot of sign language inside of
Yeah, the language.
spoken language when you really think about it. Like that's everywhere. That's Spanish, that's English. So if we were talking about how tall the corn was, I don't remember the word tall for corn right now, but she would say it and she'd just go like that. And I'd
Therefore,
be like, oh, okay, she's saying something about how well the corn is
it's
growing or
growing.
something. Or she'd grab the leaf and we'd see how vibrant and green it was. I was like, oh, okay, no drought. Obviously, she has a lot of maize, a lot of corn up there. We
Yeah.
talked about the soil. I can't remember how, but we would just, a lot of it was just sign
Sign
language.
language.
And whatever I remembered, I remembered. Anything I didn't know, I just said pull it. But I moved on. We did kind of get a rapport. You remember
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
quick
yeah.
that, well, on the phone, because you would let me talk to her on the phone
Yeah.
for months on end, and then finally we met her in the north up there. So yeah, because I don't know, I felt like she was super comfortable
She
and was
was.
like, I know
She
he
was.
speak 100% English, but he knows some Swahili. We can take a walk.
Yeah.
I could tell she felt confident, and it'd be fine. And it was fun because y'all have some beautiful land up there.
Thank you.
And again, that sign language it does
It
help.
was easy.
And again, it's not like official sign language.
But just like pointing out
It's
things and
literally
describing things.
yeah,
right?
like what is this Nyeusi? That's black.
Yeah.
So it's just like pointing Nyeusi, or it's just
But then it was easy because you knew. I think by then you already had the class or
yeah.
already having the class.
I'd had several classes. You'd been showing me
Yeah.
some stuff. So I had that confidence, and I'm like, no, I know some words to something, whatever we need to do. You know, I know children. I know a lot of food like ng'ombe for beef, mbuzi for goat, kuku for chicken, maju, like all the basic stuff.
Proud of you, actually.
Sante san.
We should next time do like a lesson on things that you remember in Swahili, like a full.
A full thing, yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
So it's like there's a lot of vocabulary that I learned in 2023,
Yeah.
and then more with your class last year. So I was good. Well, this is about meeting your mom. I was good in 20. By the time of 2023, I'd had at least 6 months of like you remember,
Swahili, yeah.
like I don't know if I should say children's level Swahili. I don't mean it like that. Beginner
But
level.
like beginner level.
Beginner level. Pole, somebody say something in there. Did I miss the comment?
Thank you for the 2 people who've joined us.
Oh, hey, what's up? We just running our mouths.
I know.
I can't see who Breakthrough. Oh, hey, Breakthrough Believers Club. What's up, fam?
Hello.
Talk to you soon. Okay, we're waiting on
On the food.
dinner right now.
And the dinner is ready.
Oh, nice. Dinner's ready. Do you want to go over?
Yeah, we can move over.
Okay, we're gonna get ready to go, but we'll show you the food. Okay.
We'll show you the food, yeah.
Here's your phone.
Okay. Let me try and carry some food stuff there. You can actually still talk to them while I move.
Okay. So, you know, I'm still healing up, so she's gonna bring the stuff over. So the food just got here. So, yeah, I guess we were just saying that, yeah, I'd felt, again, welcome to everyone on the live right now who saw us. We was just going for it, right? But thankfully, I'd learned, I think I was saying 6 to 8 months of Swahili by the time I met her mom. And so, yeah, we felt comfortable when she took me around the farm, just me and her. We felt comfortable just talking. I gotta go slow. Pole means slow. But yeah, here's some of the background. There's the Indian Ocean there.
Yeah.
So, which one is mine? Oh, that's yours. Okay. So here, I'll flip it. So here we go. So I got
You remember
rice.
what's the name of the beef?
This is hadzeba. Hadzabe.
Yeah, hadzabe.
Hadzabe beef steak. This is, I believe, South African. Got South African sauce, but then there's the biryani rice, which I believe is Indian. And then she's got her platter. What you got here?
So I have the rice.
Wali.
This is
And that's rice cooked is wali.
yeah.
And chele
So
is when it's
wali,
not
yeah.
rice, when it's not cooked.
Wali, I think this is chicken breast.
Cuckoo.
And then this is goat.
Goat.
This is
Plantain?
sweet potato.
Oh, sweet potato.
It's not plantain. And then this is my
Ooh,
favorite.
Breakthrough Believers Club is interested in taking the next class.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Stay tuned.
Stay
okay.
tuned, yeah.
We'll get y'all that information. Thanks, fam. Okay, good to know. So
Chips
she's
my
loving
eye.
chips my eye. So that's
My
eggs.
favorite.
That's eggs with fries.
Yeah, and then plantain.
Plantain.
And I think this is sausages, some sausages, sauce,
And stew,
things,
maybe?
Yeah. And then we have beef skewers.
Beef skewers. So yeah. So yeah, I got my steak right here. So, and there's the view.
You should actually people visit here. It's really nice and chill.
Yeah,
And
it's a really
like
nice
really
spot.
away from all the town noise, and you can just enjoy the beach, enjoy the quietness. Plus, I think you can work. I think they also have a working space here. People usually come here to work,
Yeah.
so you can actually really find a really nice place to chill if
Yeah.
you're looking to like be away from
Like,
all the noise in town and
in
craziness.
town.
Yeah.
Here, should we try, before we go, we'll try some of the food for y'all. See, now everybody's showing up. When the food get here,
I know this is the most important part.
so yeah, for anyone new who didn't
Yeah.
see, well, go ahead, try some. Well, here, I bless the food. Thank you, Father, for this food. It be nourishing for our bodies. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. I'm
Wanna
excited
try?
to taste.
Let's see, let's try this. I said, well done. Oop, get away. Oh, I mean, I said medium well, but it might be well done, but that's fine.
Ooh, this is so.
Mmm. Yeah, that'll work.
The goat is goating.
Oh my lord.
I
Some
mean,
of
the
this
girl
sauce
is
on
really
there.
good.
Yeah, it's nice. We got some broccoli here. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Nice biryani rice.
I thought I was gonna get some biryani.
I don't know if
That's
I
okay.
saw that on yours.
Okay.
I don't know.
So yeah,
But yeah, so I guess that's it for now. Anything else?
that's mostly it. So thank you. Wanna enjoy the food because
Yes, I
I'm
mean,
hungry. So I
you
might
know.
not be able to talk while I eat. But thank you so much for joining in
Mm-hmm.
and just hear us, talk about general things and things that we, talk about different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Till next time. Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers. So good. All right, y'all. Have a blessed day. See you on the next video.
Thank you.